I got to thinking about some raw versus 9.8 equivalents that are pretty crazy. So what do I mean by that? I'm talking about books that are relatively pretty affordable raw, 5, 10, 20 bucks, that happen to be extremely expensive on their 9.8 counterpart. We're going to avoid talking about the 70s because I feel like the 70s is so much harder to get 9.8s. We're instead going to talk about obtainable books here that the 9.8 equivalent is just bonkers. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Congratulations to L. Green Machine. You are the winner of the Green Lantern number 85. So make sure you message me, my friend, and I'll go ahead and make sure I get that book out your way. Also, don't forget, we have a sponsor for the video, Dynamite, and through Mint Hunter Comics with Mint Hunter 10, both websites, you get 10% off. A lot of great stuff there, so you can have some real fun with it. Let's start this list off with Animaniacs, A Christmas Special, number 1. So those of you that don't know, this book, The Christmas Special, is actually the first Animaniac comic book. There you go. It's about a $10 raw, though, nothing too crazy. Do you know that the 9.8 equivalent is a $200 book? Not only that, there are some DC Universe logo variants of this one. It actually is considered one of the toughest ones to get and is actually very rare. So rare, there is essentially no discernible sales data for it. Are there even 9.8s of that? I honestly don't know. But you can't really track it down. But just the regular direct edition, $200 out of a $10 raw. And this list is going to get crazier. New X-Men 133, first appearance of Dust. Now you'll see it's got a black spine. I think that helps, okay? Some of the books on here, you're definitely going to have two reactions. You're going to say, oh, that 9.8 seems high. Some of these books you're going to see, and you're going to say, I think that raw price is too low. I don't know, maybe the raw price is too low on this one. It's like a $20 raw for a perfect near minty. And the 9.8 equivalent actually is about a $250 book, which interestingly is down. It used to be in the 300s, so pretty crazy jump from $20 to get all the way to $250. Next is going to be Hellblazer number 1, taking a jump in raw price. This is about a $50, $60 book for a beautiful near mint of Hellblazer. You know, people love this Vertigo run. It's a big deal. Well, the 9.8 is $400. Again, 60, 400. That's quite a jump, and I'm noticing a trend with this list. A lot of this list is DC stuff, so it's interesting. I think it makes sense. A lot of people submit Marvel books more, and there's just less 9.8s out there of some of this stuff with DC, and I think that might contribute. Like this next one, Batman 500, the second print. Now watch out for this one. This thing, I've actually had a CBCS 9.8 and I've gotten a CGC 9.8. It used to be $400 in the 9.8. It's about like a $300 book right now. But the thing is, raw, you can find a perfect copy for about $40 there. So we're getting $300 out of a raw that otherwise would just be $40. Pretty noticeable difference right there for sure. Let's go with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 58. And I say that because I actually have one on the wall. So it's actually the first mention of Shadow. Okay. This book, $30 for a raw. Okay. The 9.8 is actually $350. Now, if you look at it, because again, I got one, it is an all black spine. So nothing hides on that book. So admittedly, it is a extremely difficult 9.8 to receive. Don't forget, 9.8s are supposed to be really, really hard to get. So it makes sense. I think this is one that makes a little sense. We'll see, right? I still think it's a really big jump. But some of these make a little more sense than others. Transformers number 8, first Dinobots, $20 bill, right? I even included it on my solid $20 book video. Well, the 9.8, we're just talking direct edition here, not Newsstand, not, Mark Jewelers, not Canadian price variants, a direct edition is a $300 9.8. $300 out of a $20 raw. Next time you go dollar bin diving or head to your comic shop, see if they have it. If it is a true near mint to mint, maybe you grab it for $20. Who knows? You could have a payday. G.I. Joe number 2, although to be completely honest with you, G.I. Joe basically 2 through 20 all do kind of the same thing. This one was the biggest I noticed. First appearance of Quinn, dude, it's like a $15 raw, right? This is not wildly expensive by any means. This thing is a $15 raw. It's a $360 and like a steady $360, 9.8. There's a lot of sales data to confirm that one too. Pretty wild. On my last submission, I put a couple G.I. Joes in there. And you know what? Some of them were in the $200 range once they did come back in the perfect grade. And I popped them on eBay, and they, truth be told, they sold within a couple days. So, wow. Yeah, but such a big jump from its raw counterpart. Whatever. Web of Spider-Man number 1, specifically the newsstand here. So, you know, $25, maybe $30 for a near mint copy of a newsy Web of Spider-Man number 1. Dude, the 9.8 is like $500 or close, $475, but right around that $500 mark. Hold on. A $500 9.8 newsy out of a $25 book. Now, someone told me this was less circulated amongst newsstands. So this one, there's an overwhelming amount more direct than newsstands. That actually may be true. I couldn't really find anything, but I did see a way lesser number of newsstands out there. So maybe it is more scarce. I don't really know. Okay, then we have Uncanny X-Men 136. Don't get me wrong. Amazing cover. Okay, Jean Grey, Cyclops, great stuff, man, great stuff. Raw, you're looking at spending $40 for essentially a perfect-looking comic book there. Okay. The 9.8 is $500 here. $40, $500. Pretty crazy. Let's skip ahead to Batman Adventures 25. Now, this is just a $10 book. In 1997, DC did these upfront and personal comic covers. They did it with every single line they had at the time. And I guess this is one of the more notable ones because it's the animated series art style. So people like this one. Well, this is actually a $350 book. It's also the final issue of that particular run. Even still, good lord. And excuse me, it's actually Batman and Robin Adventures, not Batman Adventures. Pretty crazy, but I can confirm I've seen it. It really is a $300 to $350 9.8. Okay. Again, black spine helps. Amazing Spider-Man 184. I learned this one when I actually bought that comic book from Bry's Comics. I bought that from his website. It's actually like a $500 9.8. First appearance of the White Dragon. And he gave me a good deal. I think he gave it to me for $400. So see, I'm putting it for $450. So that's like a $25 book raw. But it is the late 70s. I said I wasn't going to do 70s, but it's just so scarce and I guess tough to get, and there's just not that many out there. So it's a $500 book. Pretty crazy, and that's a big jump, man. Last 3 I'm going to give you here. Swamp Thing number 90. This is a personal favorite of mine. First appearance of Tefe Holland. You're noticing a trend with this list. What's that spine look like? All black. Okay, so we're looking at a $20 near minty book at best. I honestly see some of them sell for $10 or $15. The 9.8 is once again $500. A lot of these other ones, it's that black spine. I'm seeing a trend here. Maybe we should have called this video The Power of the Black Spine. This second to last one is shocking. It's Ray, or I guess Rye. I've never actually known how to pronounce this correctly. Number 4, okay, non-key Valiant book. You find this in dollar bins. Yes, they say it's a lower print count, but even still, no one's really holding on to stuff like this. If it's not a key, They're not keeping it in their collection. Okay, what if I told you this dollar bin book is actually almost a $300 9.8? Look it up. And it's got a lot of sales to actually corroborate that. So I guess those Valiant fans out there must really like that. I actually bought a collection recently and stumbled across this where I was really not excited to see all these 9.8s of Eternal Warrior and Rai. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. But I looked up the fair market value, and sure, some of them were $30, and some of them were like $300. Pretty crazy. Rai number 4. And that was the tallest one I could find. The final one I'm going to give you is such a huge jump, it's hilarious. And it is Robin number 1, the Brian Boland classic. It's Robin's Robin's first series. Okay, it's a mini series. We're not talking the first print here. We're talking the second print, and it also has to be exclusively the second print / newsstand. Okay, that's a big deal. Now, personally, I do recognize that this one's going to be more valuable than just even a second print, which is more rare. So this is like a $40 raw for a perfect near minty. And I'm kind of annoyed because I've definitely had a few of these over the years, and I've sold them for about that or even cheaper. Guys, the 9.8 of this is somewhere in between $700 to $1,000. There was a recent sale at $2,600, but it was such an outlier that I don't know how much of that I can really look into. I personally would put it somewhere between $7,000 and $1,000, and there are sales to corroborate that. What? So let me get this straight. $1,000 out of a $40 book? Not the easiest one to find, but even still, if you do find a near minty of that, maybe it's your next submission. Just saying. Okay, guys, what did I miss? What 9.8 have you ever looked up where you just found yourself scratching your head? As always, keep on hunting. Congratulations to our winner again, and I'll see you at the next video.
Make sure to come on down to Sentiment Depot's Antiques and Collectibles, located at 238 West Delaware Ave in Pennington, New Jersey. Find so many great books for just $1 and the lowest prices on key comics around. Enjoy a huge selection of graded comics priced up to 20% lower than current fair market value. We are open from Wednesday to Sunday, closed Monday, Tuesday. You got a collection you want to sell? Bring that too. Can't wait to see you there.